If you published a book on Amazon KDP and you're wondering why you're not making any sales, then watch this video because I'm going to show you exactly why. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean and I've made well over 7 figures in actual royalties from my own Amazon KDP business. So if you want no BS publishing advice from someone who's actually doing it, then make sure to subscribe. So in this video, I'm going to go and review and critique the books that you guys have submitted to me. So if you want your books to be featured in future videos like this, then all you have to do is follow me on Instagram at SeanDo13 and DM me your Amazon link and I'll potentially review it in future videos like this. All right, guys, so let's get started. So Spring's Flair, Fairies, Fashion, Culling, Adventure, Interactive Painting for Girls A+ and Up. So this book has 0 reviews. The book cover looks like you kind of added a stock image in the background, AI generated, and you put some Canva text above, below, and that is your book cover. Now the interior actually looks a little better than the book cover, right? So I actually think these are decent images, a little grayscale, but the interior is much better than the book cover. So the description, I like that you have different formatting so that the text pops a little bit more. And it looks like you made some sales, but overall you've made very, very little money from this. So the biggest thing that's killing your sales right now is obviously the book cover is just not attractive. It kind of looks unprofessional with text font style and everything like that. If you want to learn more about what kind of cover is, on the market, you just want to look at your competitor and ask yourself honestly, is my book cover better than what's out on the market? So if you scroll down here a little bit, these are the products related to your product. So this is what you are competing with. Obviously, you're not competing with other ones that has 0 reviews or really, really bad reviews, but something like this, right? So Fairies, reverse coloring book. This one actually has some unique cover style as well. There's also this one right here, which is not a fairy book or fairy coloring book, but it has a lot of reviews. And this looks like it's an AI generated image and it's still getting a lot of reviews. So perhaps, you can model it from there. The biggest thing I would say is that your text, it kind of looks very, very unprofessional. So you want to make the text a lot more bold, no special fancy effects like this one. Just make it bigger, bolder, so that it pops better. And the Spring's Flair, this word, is you don't want to separate it like this. Once again, keep it in one space, bigger, bolder. Just remember the text has to be big and bold. Okay, that's like the main thing on the book cover. The next thing is for your title right here. Spring's Flair does not mean anything. So it's just fluff word. It's taking up spaces, but it's not really helping you sell the book. So you can just remove that next time. Just go from Fairies, Fashion, Culling, Adventure. That is a title. The subtitle is Interactive Painting for Girls A+ and Up. I would try and spice this up a little bit more with power words and also talking about the benefits of the book. Like what kind of benefits do you get from interactive painting, right? So you kind of explain that in the description here, like express yourself, discover the universe of, I don't know, magic wings or something. But you kind of want to talk about that in the subtitle. Also use numbers. That's always helpful when it comes to the subtitle. So instead of saying interactive painting for girls A+ and up, you can say 37 beautiful interactive painting coloring pages for girls A+ and up. That sounds a lot better just like that, right? So that's what I mean is using numbers, using power words, explaining the benefits, and then you can go from there. So the interior, I think you don't have to change anything because I think it looks decent, although it's not the best coloring page, right? Probably AI generated, I'm not sure. But the main thing is the book cover and the title, and obviously you have no reviews. You gotta get some reviews and you have to do some marketing. It's just part of the business. There is not a single business out there that you can make money without talking about your product or service, okay? It's just how it is. So if you wanna start making money online, if you wanna start a business, you have to do marketing. There is no way around that, okay? So first you gotta get reviews and then you can potentially run some ads. If you need help with that, then I'll leave a link to some of the videos that I've done in the past on Amazon ads, as well as getting reviews in the description below. All right, so the next one is Pocket Room Interior Design Coloring Book. This is basically a ripoff of Coco Real. Basically, everything about this is a ripoff of Coco Real, just to be frank here. Because if I scroll down here, these are what Coco Real, this is actually from Coco Real, right? So the customers who bought your item also viewed this Coco Real's book, which looks extremely similar. I think there was another version of this Pocket Room that looks exactly like your cover. So one thing I recommend is you can get away in the beginning doing this and you can make some sales, but confusing the customers thinking that your book is actually from another person's book because you made the cover design so similar and the title so similar, basically pretending like you're this author when you're not, that's gonna get your account banned over time. So you should probably stop doing that, and instead you should model what is working. So Coco Rio is extremely successful. Like, analyze this brand in the past. So you can see what they're doing, like a simple cover design, showcasing the room in the middle, right? But you obviously want to have your own version of the room, and you also want to have different text style, different colors. This looks to me a little bit too similar. Maybe you try to do that in your mind, which I respect. Okay, just do a little bit more, because I think this is still kind of, even the font is the same, right? Or it looks similar. So I think this is kind of still sketchy if you're doing this. So besides this, you have made some sales, but not a lot, right? I think the biggest reason why is because you only have 3 reviews. So if you look at Coco Rio, the brand that you are modeling this from, their strategies, they publish a book, they get very few reviews, so often 0 to couple reviews, but they market it very, very heavily. They have a huge social media audience. They have 103,000 followers on TikTok. They have a lot on Instagram. They even have a lot on YouTube. So this is the marketing that they are doing, and this is what you are competing with, because you made a very, very similar book on it, right? So when you make a book cover and a book title that's basically a very similar to a huge brand, what people are going to do is they're going to compare apples to apples. They're like, okay, this two looks similar, which is better? And obviously they're going to go with the one that has more reviews and better branding, which is Coco Rio, right? But if you make something that's unique, if your book cover design looks a little different and has your own taste to it, then people are not going to compare it apples to apples. People are going to be like, this looks cool, but this also looks cool and it's different. So, right now they're going to go either or. They're not going to buy both because it looks almost identical. But if you have your own style to it, they're going to possibly buy both. They're like, this looks cool, let's get both, right? Especially in a niche like coloring book. And that is why you never want to rip off somebody else. But in terms of marketing, besides getting reviews, if you don't have money to run Amazon ads, you can also do social media marketing like Coco Rio. Just look them up on TikTok. I also made some videos about it in the past if you guys want to check it out. All right, so the next one is solo saison or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's a new keyword. I've never heard of this before. 50 traditional recipes for single moms. Spice up your kitchen with Argentina's tasty cuisine. So it is at 5 million BSR. So, you made some sales with very, very, very little. And I think the reason is because if I look up solo saison or something here, your book shows up as number 1 and there's literally 1 result. So this is a perfect example of you published a book without doing any market research. Are there other people looking for a book on this topic, solo saison? I don't know if this is something that you came up with or this is actually the name of the cuisine, but let's look up recipes for single moms. Maybe that's a better keyword, right? So let's look up recipes for single moms here. And once again, there are no book that is selling well on this. In fact, no one's looking for it because not a lot of books are ranking on this topic. So maybe Argentina recipe cookbook or Argentinian recipes, that might be a better keyword. And now we have something that's a little better results. We have 126 results, so very, very little competition. And the first book right here is basically Argentinian recipes, 134,000 BSR, so it's a pretty decent BSR. Same as this one, amazing Argentinian cookbook, but it's not selling at all. So I think based on looking at this, we can come to the conclusion that solo saison, recipes for single moms, and Argentinian recipe, all 3 aspects that you are ranking for is just not profitable. No one's looking for this topic. And so you can have an amazing book cover. Like, your book cover is actually pretty decent, right? And your interior, or I'm sorry, your A+ content is showing your interior. You got colored pages, you got nice images. Like, your book is actually, it looks good. It looks pretty good. And yet, why are you not making sales? Is because you made a book on a topic that basically has 0 searches and 0 demand. So unfortunately, the way you win in the Amazon KDP business is not making a book in a random topic and then try to get people interested in, right? That's not how it works. You have to find a topic that people are already interested in, and then you make a good book in that topic. So if you don't like that, unfortunately, that is business. It's the same in business. You can't force people to like something. The way you make money in business is not often by coming up with a brand new idea. It's basically just coming up with a better product in a proven idea. Okay, so in this case, in a proven topic that you know is profitable, you come up with a better product out there that competes or beats out all your competition. Unfortunately, you made a good book here, but I don't think there is any way that we can save this. I think you just have to keep in mind next time that you do better market research, make sure that other books are being bought in the topic before you go and write the book. But one thing I would say is that if you can make that little tweak, right, which is not that hard, you can make a good product here. You know, I see that you made a really nice recipe book. So you just apply that to a profitable topic, and I think you can succeed in this business. I think you got the talent for it. So, you know, it's a good thing. So just keep this in mind next time. All right, next book is Teen Logic Mastermind, the big book of puzzles, 300 mind-bending logic puzzles workbook for gritty, curious, and adventurous teens. Word search, number sequence to train brain and have fun. So obviously you are keyword stuffing, which you don't want to do. Your title is too long and it's getting cut off. So definitely don't do that. Now, here's the thing. You made some sales once again, but very, very little. And number one, there are so many mistakes that I see that you're doing. Number one, Teen Logic Mastermind. It does not mean anything. And this is what I always go back to. Your title should not be fancy. People are so used to hearing all these fancy titles from authority figures like, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or like a lot of things, you know, Obstacles is the Way. These are the titles that I come up with. And these things, it's fancy. It doesn't have any keyword. It's not clear, right? And so you hear these titles and then, you know, people come into self-publishing and try to do the same thing. But one thing you have to understand is that these people have millions of followers already when they published a book compared to you having zero. So if you have a huge audience, it doesn't matter what your title is. It doesn't matter if it's SEO optimized. You just announce your book is live to your audience and you get millions of purchases, right? But for you, you can't do that. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to play the SEO game. SEO means putting keywords in the title, making it very clear what your book is about. So when people search for, you know, like when people want to search for like puzzle books for teens, when they search puzzle books for teens, your book shows up because you put puzzle books for teens in the title. Okay, so that's the game you have to play if you want to win in KDP. But people don't do that, right? So that is mistake number one. Subtitle, once again, should be very clear on what the book is about. In your case, it is probably too much information. You put too many things like mind-bending logic puzzles, workbook for gritty, curious, and adventurous teens. Just put one, like for gritty teens, you know, curious teens, adventurous teens. Word search, number sequence, train, you know, so that it's just too many things and it's getting cut off. So just simplify it. Focus on, once again, the benefits and the features, but not too much. Your cover is something that you made on Canva. It just does not look good. You know, you can make covers on Canva. I'm not against that if you are a good designer, but if you're not, then you should probably outsource it. If you need some book cover designer recommendations, someone who can create book cover designs for a very affordable price, but still high quality, especially for low and medium content book niches, I'll leave a link to this gig right here below in this video so you can check it out. This is a good one. So the next thing is, you don't have any reviews, so obviously check out my review video. So you have to go and fix all those issues. I would recommend you just make a new book. Next time, title it better, right? Use some keywords and then make a better cover, and then you get some reviews. You should be making a lot more sales if you do that. And then from there, you can start marketing it, running some ads. And you know, the puzzle book for teens niche is a good niche, right? So that's not the issue here. You just have to make a better product and do a better marketing. And I think you can bring that book to making a couple $100. And if you do a good job, it can do even $1,000 a month from this niche. So that's what I recommend. All right, so the next book we have is Wings of Redemption, a romantic fantasy novel. So this is a fiction book. It has 18 reviews with 4.1 average, so not the best. Despite that, it is a 19,000 or so, almost 20,000 BSR, which is a decent place to be at for a fiction book. Now, one thing I would say is the description is formatted incorrectly, so it's all bolded, which you obviously want to fix. Should be an easy fix in your KDP dashboard. I think your book cover is pretty good. You know, it's a romance fantasy novel, but there's no like characters that's on the cover like I usually see. It's just a sword. However, it still kind of pops in terms of the design, so it still caught my eye. One thing I would probably fix is your text should be a little, like I would use a different text like font style. it looks a little cheap in my opinion. But in terms of the book cover, it seems like this is something that the same customer that, who reads your book is also enjoying. And they also don't really have the characters on the book cover. It's just kind of these fantasy designs in the background. So I guess that's what's working in this space. I would still definitely recommend updating the font for your book cover because I like these kind of fonts. And yours looks a little cheaper in my opinion. Just a slight change probably will improve the feel of the cover a little bit. But besides that, I'll be completely honest, I don't publish fiction. I just see what, other people are doing. So I can't really speak from an expert point of view. I specialize in nonfiction, low content, medium content books. But yeah, so it looks okay. And you are making some sales, doing $30 to $40 a day, which is a great sign. But since you do fiction, obviously you understand that with fiction, the key is to build a series for as long as you can. So that people buy one of your book and then they buy the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then your lifetime value or how much you make from the customer goes higher and higher and higher and higher. Typically, you run ads heavily on fiction books, although you can do social media nowadays as well. So I don't know what kind of marketing you're doing, but whatever you're doing is working. You are making front end sales, right? So if you're profiting right now from this book, that's amazing. Like you're doing a great job. But if you're not profiting, or let's say you are breaking even or losing money, then the way you start profiting is you need to have a book number 2, book number 3, book number 4, right? So you can lose money on book number 1, marketing it. But once people come in, they enjoy the story and then they get hooked on your brand and who you are and they want to read other books from you. Then you have book number 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all organic sales that you didn't have to spend money for, right? So that is how you can start increasing your profit margins. And I think that is the next step, besides the little tweaks you can do, like the book cover and stuff that I mentioned, the description, fixing the bolding, unless that is how you do it in fiction, which I don't think so. It's just a matter of building out the series because you are making front end sales. So the fixes that you have to do is a lot easier than other books that we see here. So great job on that. All right, so the next book is Colors in Circles, a playful exploration for little minds, discovering round shapes with 10 vibrant colors and everyday objects for kids age 1 to 5. So the subtitle does explain what the book is about. So that is not the issue here. You got 29 reviews. So that is good as well. You're not making sales though. I think for me, what pops up immediately is the book cover. The book cover it doesn't look like a activity book. The title does not explain that it is an activity book as well. Colors in Circles, a playful exploration for little minds. Makes me think, is it a storybook, right? Is it something else like an activity book? I'm not sure. And then I read the subtitle and I'm like, okay, so discovering round shapes with 10 vibrant colors and everyday objects. A little vague. I still don't really understand what is it about. So it's better if you can showcase the interior a little more. And obviously you do that in the A+ content. So now I see that it looks like it is a children's storybook. Okay, so it is about circles and different circles that are out there. I don't know how many people are looking for a book on this topic, to be honest. So I really don't know the keyword for this. So I just typed in children's book about circles and let's see what kind of results that we can get. So we have 1,000 results and this book is doing really good actually. So the circles all around us. So it is a children's book talking about circles. This one right here is not so great, but it is selling something here and there, right? So besides that first book, there's not much demand here. So let me think of other keywords that potentially is using this color in circles. All right, so your book pops up as number 1. And besides that, I don't see anything. So I think this kind of comes down to a matter of how many people is actually searching Amazon, looking for a book, looking for a children's book on teaching kids about shapes and different colors in everyday objects, right? So I'm curious how you came up with this idea, of the book. Did you just came up thinking that it's cool? It's just a random idea that you put it into a book, or did you do any market research? Like, did you actually find other books on the same topic selling well, and then that gave you the confirmation that that it's profitable, so then you went on and make it? Because I'm trying to find other books on this topic and I'm not really seeing anything here. So I think the biggest issue right there before the book cover, before the title, is that I'm not sure if the market is just there for this topic. So next time when you make a book, just keep these things in mind. And if you want to learn how to do proper market research so that you don't go and waste a ton of money and time making the book just to end up not making any sales, then you can check out my complete Amazon KDP course. It comes with complete, like literally everything you need to know, A to Z course, plus a support group so you can ask any questions you want. The link is in the description below, as well as all the tools and resources that I recommend for your publishing business. So if you enjoy these videos and you want me to review your books in the future, just follow me on Instagram at SeanDewitt13, DM me your book, and I will perhaps review it in future videos. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.